Good morning, everyone. Well, the discussing slate, so it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong this morning. How are we all doing? First things first, before I start talking. All doing. First, there we go. I know it disrupts the flow, but I want to check the audio, make sure everything is good before we go live, because we do occasionally have issues with StreamYard. But good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? We've just put the tweet out because bit of a mix-up between us. We didn't know we were live, but we knew we were live. We didn't know we were live, so there we go. If you're in here, that means you just, you switched on. You get the notifications on your phone, and you click that little thing that pops up. So we appreciate you all being here. But good morning, everyone. Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name's Graham Day, and this is the man that we call Baby.
Hello.
I need to.
I completely forgot. Well, I didn't even know that we were live. So I just have to put my headset in, otherwise you'd be blaring out my speakers, and that wouldn't be good for reverb, would it, Graham?
Just like it gets louder and louder and louder. I have a formal request. Your lights need to be changed to pinky purple, babe. Sort it out.
Sure.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
That's the fucking remote. It's massive. It's the Sky Plus remote.
For those of you that may have missed it last night, Bibby has turned his room into a boudoir. I mean, he was literally slating all RGB streamers. This just looks crap. You all look like knobheads. Now look at him. Now look at him.
Okay. I've got another 2 strips of these lights as well. One bought me 4 packs for Christmas, like of different ones. They're not. The thing is, they're not all the same make. So I can't just. I've got the app as well, so I could like turn the lights on. If I put music on, they'll all chime to the music and that. But I could put another set up if I wanted to, but they'd be a completely different make. So then I'd have 2 apps, and I don't need that in my life. So just the one, and that's the one that's gone behind me.
So yeah, Enix has just asked the question that I was going to ask. What make are they? What strips are they? Because I keep getting notifications for some lights called Govee, Govee, which is like really long, cheap, decent.
Yeah.
I said cheap. The shop LED.
Shop LED.
So Bibby now he works in a shop, confirmed. So you can buy whatever you want. He's like the merchant from Resident Evil. He'll whip open his T-shirt and sell you a Sonic or a Grogu, whatever. It's fine.
I've no idea. I had no idea how expensive LED lights. I've never bought myself a set, but these ones you can use with Alexa, and you can have the app on your Android or. I mean, this isn't sponsored, by the way. I'm genuinely just going through. You can use your Android or iPhone to change the stuff, which I was doing. I've got it. In fact, I've actually got it on a schedule. These turned themselves on at 9 o'clock this morning when I'd be going into my office and starting my day off. So every morning during the week, 9 a.m, the lights come on themselves. Boom.
Boom. I like the fact that they link up with an Amazon device that I'm not going to name because that thing will flash up and start changing things.
Alexa!
It's worse when I'm sat here and I'm watching a stream. When I'm on stream, obviously I've got a headset on, but sometimes you don't want to sit there with a headset on all day. So I've got speakers in the room like Peppiatt. He changed to put his headset on. When you're working away, you just want the background ambient noise. Change to the speakers. Jobs are good. But because my speaker is actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the alternate cam. Let me flick. So this is my Amazon device, and this is my speaker. So if I'm watching a stream and someone's streaming and says it on stream, then it changes my stuff. So I've had people like messing around and going, okay, I'm not going to change your name. I'm going to substitute her name for Catherine because it sounds nothing like it. Catherine, play Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano, and then I'll be just sat there and it'll be like ding, 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 Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, which is actually a banging tune, by the way. So there you go. It doesn't even need to just be for Christmas, as Dr. Disrespect proved. It can be a birthday song too. Although people need to be in a joke or it confuses them, which I've had many, many times. Feliz Navidad! And they're like, that means Merry Christmas. Like, I know! But never mind. Anyway, if you want to get some lights, Bibby, you can buy them from bibbysmarket.com. He's got shitloads of different brands.
Oh, dear boy.
Anyway, jumping into the split screen, let's give you the intro. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham. This is Bibby. We are colour coordinated, there we go, with lighting. And this is Ice Cream Uploads. And in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. And some, us may say, the UK's #1 video game podcast. It's us that says it, but it still counts. So anyway, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. And it's important that if you are live with us right now at 10 a.m.-ish, on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads, that you drop your comments into the chat. As mentioned, we do go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday. It's 11 minutes past 11. Nice. On twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. And you guys in the chat have a very important job if you are here with us. We want you to use those thoughts and impressions because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Loads of people watching and listening on demand, and they need your input because they can't do it live. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to use the comments down below. We do respond to pretty much everyone, unless you're one of those bots that says, "Hi, I love your video." And it's like, no, get in the bed. We're not going to respond to you. But thanks. Anyway, before we jump into the show, a couple of things to mention. First of all, let me start up chatbot. So in a couple of seconds, you will be able to type !loot drop, which will give you information on what our loot drop prize is this month, actually. I'm not going to go looking for it, but can you find the tweet that we put out the other day that just had the artwork in and drop the link in the
I certainly can.
So we will give you an Ice Cream Uploads piece of merchandise of your choice from our Gamers Apparel store. One person that's a subscriber will get that prize on the 1st of February because that's the first Monday of the month. So, yeah, one person will get that. I believe it's the first. And the other thing to mention is !insert coin. We are now part of the Insert Coin stream family. So feel free to type Insert Coin to find out if you could get a discount code on clothing. You can. It's 20%, by the way. I'm just saying. There you go. Nice. We do have other things as well. !muscle mousse if you want discounted drinks and snacks. You feel free. !boom sauce if you want some spice up your life on some chicken is nice. That's no spawn or any of that, by the way. We're just friends. We're just friends. Let's jump back up. Madge says, well done. Bang on 11. GG. Well, there you go. It was fine. It was 10 a.m. in Cape Verde, as we established yesterday. So there you go. Shout out the Cape Verde Massive.
It's not expected, is
it? To be fair, I think we need to have a rebuttal. Like, I mean, these people that come in and complain that it's not 10 a.m. We have an emote for it. God damn it.
Imagine we went live at 10 a.m. People would lose their shit.
There'd be no one here. It'd be like when you get to a party early and you're like the only one there. There's a barman just going, "Do you want another drink?" And it's like, "Well, no, I've literally got half one left," kind of thing. And it's like, there you go. So yeah, there we go. We do it for you and the quality.
We're all fashionably
late. Madge says, annoyed I slept through Bibby's playthrough last night. We'll need to watch it on YouTube later. I only watched it this morning. I was finishing off Making a Murderer last night, and I thought, well, that's it. If I don't tune into that, I get it as playthrough material while I'm working today. So yeah, I watched it this morning before we came live. It's only 28 minutes long. Nice, easy watch. Bibby craps himself. Job's good. A bit of a catwalk session halfway through. So yeah, fill your boots. Enix, good morning.
About the thumbnail? What do you think?
That thumbnail game is strong. Bibby absolutely
the shit out of that.
Yeah, full on. I mean, it's a good effort. Actually, whilst speaking about social, I've just seen the Gamers Apparel loot drop link. I will bring this on the screen just so that people can see it. So there we go. Win some ICU merch. So the prize for our loot drop this month is a piece of merch of your choice. That could just be a mug, or it could be a personalised esports jersey, a t-shirt, hoodie, you choose, whatever. You get to choose it from the Gamers Apparel store, so there is that there. And then, talking about thumbnails, let me jump back. Oh my god. Can't find it. Can't find Bibby's thumbnail. Or did you tweet that? Was that? Maybe it was Bib.
Yeah.
There we go. There we are. So there you go. If you want to see the magic of the thumbnail last night, look at that. Bibby's a full-on YouTuber. It's just you're not. You've let us down, baby. You need to have your hands on your face. Home Alone.
Well, I need my hands. I know. I had to hold my camera though. Do you know what I mean? I had to hold my phone.
Good effort. I'll give you a solid 11 out of 10 for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Morning, says Gary Clark. Welcome in. Audio is good, says Madge. Mr. T says Wagwan. Tito says he has it read in the evening. It does, and music that starts up with like a wow. Wow. Dong, dong, dong. And then I'm here to fix your printer. Wow. I don't have a printer. Wow. What strips are there? Says Enix, Salford Market rip-off massive. No, the Hyde Market, them ones. It's bit. I have some Govies, decent, mate. Nice. See, I've heard good things about the Govie one, and that's the one that Amazon keeps recommending to me. So, yeah, I have a strip light around this, and I also have another one sat here. Ta-da! Waiting to be used, but where I want to use it, it's not enough, so I need more. But I have been looking at using something like Govee instead of the Hue, because Hues are really good and work well together. But Govees, whilst they don't have the Hue bridge built-in stuff, you can get like 7,000 meters for the same price. So, yeah. Callum, good morning, all. Just lurking, still in meetings. It's fine.
Morning, mate.
As long as you interrupt meetings with a ish every few seconds, it's okay. It's fine. They don't need to know. Enix says, trolls who say that robot name, where do I live? Or best one was that robot name, order an iPhone 12. Imagine just sat there. What did I say it was? Catherine, buy a rampant rabbit. And then it's like, buying rampant rabbit, adding to your... No, stop! No!
Another one for the collection.
God damn it. I asked my Echo Dot to play a brand called Oral Vampire, and the thing tried to set me on a trial for audiology. Streaming services, thoughts and opinions, yada, yada, yada. Exactly. It's 10 a.m. somewhere, says Tito. It is. It's Christmas morning for some Amazon employees. It is. But we will jump onto that shortly. That's not what we're going to kick things off. So hold that thought, and we... I've just seen Jenkins's tweet before we jump back into the show. Obviously, we're talking about Bibby's thumbnailing. As you can see there's the Bibby's thumbnail. Jenkins, who's a pet streamer on Twitch. If you want to go check him out, feel free to do so. Although he is on a little bit of a hiatus from content creation right now. But he says, Twitch, this has to be the next PogChamp. Let's go! Imagine.
That would be nice. Just for one day.
Anyway, let's jump into the first news story of the day. We will have a discussion about PS5s shortly, which is what Enix was talking about it being Christmas for some Amazon employees. But before that, some news that will absolutely excite Tito. I can feel just the buzz inside him. Feel free to chip in with any comments, Tito. As Sherif Saed from VG247 reports that Warner Brothers games will now have a heavy focus on live service. Warner Brothers' upcoming slate of games will seemingly lean heavily into the live service model. An internship ad on the careers page for Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, which oversees game publishing and development arm Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, has revealed an interesting insight into how the publisher views its upcoming games. The ad, spotted by Mauro NL, is for a games production MBA intern who will join the production development. The page has the usual fluff about job requirements, pluses, and what the candidate will be doing day to day. The interesting part comes in the introductory paragraph. WBIE is currently involved in a variety of new projects ranging from casual games to core games featuring our well-known franchises on all platforms, console, digital, mobile, with a heavy focus on live service, it reads. The page doesn't offer any specific details, but it's safe to say games currently in the works at Warner Brothers' own studios, as well as those published by the company, will offer some form of live service. This doesn't necessarily mean all games are going to be always online Destiny likes. It simply means Warner plans to keep them alive months and years after launch with new content, recurring events, and likely microtransactions in some way. Looking at Warner's already announced games, many of them neatly fit that description. Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a multiplayer shooter. Likewise, Warner Bros. Montreal's Gotham Knights could have a DLC-heavy future, even if its developers don't think of it as a live service game. Indeed, Back 4 Blood, which Warner is publishing, is an online co-op shooter practically made to be a live service game. You can already imagine new characters, maps, costumes, weapons, etc. arriving in season-style regular updates. For games like Hogwarts Legacy, however, things are less clear. It's probably safe to assume that not every single game will follow that model. Something like LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga doesn't seem to be a live service game. We also don't know what other studios like NetherRealm, which makes Mortal Kombat, Monolith, which blank, and so on are working on, and whether or not their next projects are going to fit that definition. So Warner Brothers, potentially to have a heavy focus on live service. If you read between the lines of a job description, Bib, thoughts?
I think it just feels like a blanket statement to me. Towards the end of the article says that the likes of Hogwarts Legacy and also the Skywalker. Sorry, I've just had a pink wafer, so I've got stuff in the back of my throat, so I'm kind of like gauzing all over the place here. But
it's all right. I was blowing my nose at the same time, so it's fine.
The pink wafers, by the way, unbelievable biscuit. Is it? No, it's a wafer. Is it a biscuit? I don't know. That's a discussion for another time. Come back when we're on Biscuit Watch. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga and Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, those two games aren't going to get a live service-esque game. It's just not possible. The storyline's written for them. Do you know what I mean? You can't really tack anything on. You can add DLC, but adding DLC is a very fine line. But adding a DLC to a game doesn't mean that it's a live service game. I think the live service statement for this is definitely a blanket statement. The only game out of these I think that would make sense for is Back 4 Blood. A live service game. Back 4 Blood is basically Left 4 Dead. It's, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty certain that it's made by the same team that made Left 4 Dead. So it makes sense to have something like that for that game. Killer Justice League, I don't think that should be a live service game. And Gotham Knights, I don't think that should be. All these games could feature very, very good DLC, but just adding DLC doesn't 100% make it a live service game. It's just DLC for a game. If that was the case, many years, for the last 10, 15 years, DLC packs, every single one of them games is a live service game. This just feels like a blanket statement in my eyes. Not every game should be like Destiny. Not every game should be like World of Warcraft. I know there was a debate in the chat the other day about what deems a live service game and what an MMO do differently. For me, the two parts of the same coin. They are literally both live service. I mean, Destiny for me is more of an MMO than it is a live service game, if I'm being honest. I mean, Anthem probably does it even still exist? No one's even talking about it anymore. They've probably got 3 people playing online on that game. But yeah, the live service model, it needs to be revised, and I think it needs a very strong roadmap going into the future. I don't believe that we've had a very, 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 very good amount of good live service games. If you want to put it into a category, yes, obviously Destiny can be part of that live service esque type game, and that's done very, very well. It's had its bumps, it's had its downfalls, but it always comes back stronger. But the likes of Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, they can't be live service games if that's the model that they want to go down. It just wouldn't work. As I said, the only game out of this list that they're put in here, Back 4 Blood, is the only one I can realistically see as a very, very well planned out live service game.
See, I think for me, the issue for me in this article is heavy focus on live service, and the fact that we've mentioned it before. Live service is a very, very broad coverall. Live service, anything really is essentially a live service. If you have new updates, DLC, quality of life improvements, skins, new limited time modes, whatever, that's all live service. So I could see majority of games having live service. Obviously it mentions Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga in there. I could still see that in essence being live service. I don't think it will be, but I wouldn't be shocked to see obviously you've got the rays, the fins, and that, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a Porg, like the little guinea pig looking characters from the new Star Wars films. I wouldn't be shocked to see a Porg in Lego Star Wars as a playable character that gets added in on the 3 months DLC kind of thing. That is effectively live service. So I don't see the issue. I don't have an issue with Warner Brothers switching to a heavy focus on live service in that sort of sense. Let me jump back to the chat because we did have some quite contrasting opinions. See, we let it in. We drew you in to get you chatting. Where was it? Tito says, wow, jumping on a trend 5 years too late. Next up, they're doing a live service PR. Man says, Warner Brothers, fuck off. And Nick says, Gotham Royale. Woo, some very strong opinions here. Asim says, sorry if this upsets anyone, but wow, people making a mountain out of a molehill. Live service doesn't mean everything will have a battle pass or be Destiny. Gary says, it's not the first time Bibby has had something stuck in the back of his throat.
Very good shout.
It's not the first time something pink has been... No, never mind, actually. That's probably taken a bit too far. The MOBA... wow. Okay, you're talking about Batman-ish games. Yeah, exactly. Just means they'll support it frequently. Live service can range from the full-on Destiny-style game, says Mr. T, or a game that just has ongoing content. It varies, but as usual, people in the game community press jump on this stuff. Make 5 out of 2+2. I mean, that's the underlying thing. This is the story that we're leading with. Because reading between the lines, Warner Brothers will have a heavy focus on live service. What does that mean? They've said that in a job description, they will have a heavy focus on live service from an interactive element. We are in an online world. We have been for a while. Games that have any form of multiplayer, usually now as a minimum requirement, has some form of online service, a live service, a continued service as it used to be called. So that's not anything new, but it's the fact that that whole article has been kind of pulled out of one snippet of text in a job description. That's the bit that is the bit that it's... I wouldn't even say it's sensationalizing, because this article in itself doesn't say it's a bad thing. But I think the fact... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's our echo chamber. I'm going to say I think the fact that they've pulled that they are changing to focus solely on live service was, jump back 5-10 years, companies that had a focus on mobile gaming were criticised like it's not good enough. That's not somewhere you should be focusing. You shouldn't focus on mobile gaming. You shouldn't focus on free-to-play games with microtransactions, because it's different from what we're used to. But there has been some incredible free-to-play games. There has been some incredible games with microtransactions. I'm not against the idea of microtransactions. I'm not against the idea of mobile. I'm not against the idea of free-to-play, and I'm definitely not against the idea of live service. I think every one of those phrases, though, has been charged as a result of bad quality games, and as a result of capitalistic tendencies from greedy corporations. All of those things themselves aren't bad by design. By definition, should I say. They then become bad by design after the fact. So Warner Brothers offering live service and continued content, I don't have an issue with. I do, for different reasons, I do have issues, as Bibby and I spoke about. Was it last week or was it yesterday? We spoke about the issue with live service, and the example you gave was Tony Hawk, like the old school Tony Hawk games that you can't update or you can't even buy digitally anymore because of soundtrack and licensing stuff like that. That is an issue, but that's not even a live service game. That's just a licensing thing. So there is issues with live service that kind of overlap into that realm. But yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for me. It's just, from Warner Brothers' perspective, it's a good thing, because that's them committing to hitting it out of the park on a number of titles consistently. Because if you have a live service game, that means that you need teams, development teams, design teams, artworking teams, marketing teams, all working on delivering extra content. That could be real life activations, like having a pop-up in whatever stadium in London. It could be having Twitch pre-roll advertising, YouTube content creation, stuff like that. They're putting a lot of money into continuing that marketing. That means the game needs to be good enough to continue that. And we haven't really seen Warner Brothers consistently hitting it out of the park over the last 5 years. I mean, yeah, we've had some good titles scattergunned across, but have they really continued to do that? I mean, if anything, for me, it signals, even though it's a switch to heavy focus on live service, for me, it's a switch to Warner Brothers being always hands-on with the video games, which is not a bad sort of move for me.
You see, the thing is I think the term live service has just been, it's been expanded, and it, like, if you was to look at a meaning of what a live service game is, immediately my first thoughts always come down to MMOs. Like, I know that the live service model has completely changed and it's been adapted to the likes of battle royales now, for instance. But immediately I always think of MMO games. And I don't know whether or not it's going to get adapted into uh, it, it, it yeah, I don't really know how to put this into words, but yeah, it always used to be in my head, whether or not that's right or wrong. It always used to be MMOs, and now obviously battle royales are taking that on because they're like the Modern Warfare, Fortnite, all of these things. Whether or not it's new skins, new maps, new guns, new whatever. And like for the Modern Warfare situation, obviously they started to bring in some of the Black Ops stuff into it as well. So, what is the definition now of a live service game? Is what I'm trying to get at, because I don't think anyone could potentially tell you. I think it would be adapted into ways of a particular publisher or a different company or a different person. Everyone, I think, would probably have a different opinion, which is, I think, where people start to get confused and it starts to have its meaning dragged through the mud, shall we say. But my opinion is something that's completely different of maybe the likes of Asim, maybe likes of Jordan, maybe likes of Tito, and maybe even you. But I
Just
genuinely
want to
I couldn't
jump
tell
in.
you.
You're not allowed your own opinion. We are on the internet, so it's whatever the opinion we decide is the one that we're all
Listen,
going with. Thank you. It's
if
not
anyone has a fucking
discussion.
problem, we've got Vivino, and we'll talk about
it. Tito says, I think sadly live service has the reputation due to bastardization of the model. I still maintain, whilst the type of game appeals to me, I struggle to think of a great example. Destiny is probably the best in class, and even that has had bumps along the road. Asim says, that's not Warner Brothers' fault, though. It's the fault of people adding their own meaning to two words and generalizing. And then
both those statements are right, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Tito then says, not at all, but it's something, not all meaning it's not their fault, but it's something marketing arms have to be aware of when selling a product. If you call it live service, you will be lumped in with the negative connotations of it. I will say, in response to that, in fairness to Warner Brothers, this isn't anything marketing. This is purely a job description. The likes of VG247 or Mauro NL, I don't actually know, well, let's click through to see what Mauro NL is. Mauro NL is a video games industry analyst. So this is someone looking not from a marketing perspective, but from a business production perspective, and I think some of that gets lost in it. So if you look at the article that we've been looking at there, we've been looking at how games are going to be shaped and changed going forward. That's probably not the initial aim of this discussion. So here's Mauro NL's tweets, looking at different studios and different titles and however going forward. Is that an analysis of the studio's plans as opposed to the analysis of the changing of gameplay? I think that's probably where it is, but rightly so, as our discussion is proving right now, there is always, whether rightly or wrongly, some reading between the lines when you hit keyword phrases. One thing that I would advise anyone in video game marketing, sorry, I was turning away from the mic then. One thing I would advise anyone in video game marketing to try to avoid is use the word microtransaction, because that's going to get you a slap. It's similarly, if you use surprise mechanics, get in the bin, because that's going to get you a slap. And live service, whilst there's nothing wrong with the phrase microtransaction. It's a literal description, but it's charged. And I think live service is becoming another one of those things. Go back a few years ago, and live service was this exciting thing. Microtransaction always has a negative connotation, because what does microtransaction imply? You're going to be financially worse off. So nobody enjoys that. But live service doesn't. And I think live service is something that has become tainted in terms of wording. Like Asim says, that's not necessarily their fault. But yeah, I'm excited. I love the idea of live service in the same way. It's quite funny, really, because video games are going to a live service always on. We can share it with our friends and do it all at the same time. But film and TV is going to an on-demand sort of watch it whenever you want on Netflix and HBO and whatever online. So video games has essentially stepped into TV. That's the thing that you do with all your friends. Go back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, video games is what you did on your own, and then you watch TV with your friends and family, and now it's big change.
So are games that with the likes of a season pass now deemed under whatever umbrella it is a live service game?
Yeah, because I mean, Fortnite is a good example. That is a live service because additional content is coming at specific points in time, and it's not the Destiny always on sort of live service, but yeah, I would definitely say so. BRs in that element that keep you coming, that give you daily missions and so on, give you weekly missions, time relative stuff. It don't even need to be specifically time relative, but yeah, I would say they're all within it.
Mine would always be deemed by expansions. So again, this all comes down to the MMO stuff. I would lump Destiny into an MMO. Whether or not it's advertised like that, I have no idea. But they get maybe 2, maybe 1. I'm not too sure. Falling out of Destiny, but they get expansions. We'll call it, say, twice a year, that improve the quality of life, add new missions, new trials, new events, all that kind of malarkey. Whereas the likes of Fortnite and Battle Royales, they just add new skins, new maps maybe, but that's a lot more frequent than an expansion pack. So both of those are still live service games because they're getting content added to them all the time. I think live service is just so general now. In terms of every single game that I can think of, if it's got multiplayer, has something being added to it at some point. So yeah, it's the term live service. I think it's more of a general thing now. If it's got a multiplayer element to it, is that now deemed as a live service game because you know that there's going to be more stuff added to it frequently, apart from if it's dog shit and nobody's playing it.
I would say multiplayer. For me, obviously, and this is where it comes down to. For me, it's one of those things that is now interpretable. It's subjective, probably. For me, multiplayer isn't live service. I know you're playing on live servers, but you're effectively gone, there's multiplayer, and go out and play it on your own, whatever. But if you have multiplayer that has seasonal themes, that has so think back to Call of Duty 4. You play on Crash. The game that you play at the start versus at the end maybe has some buffs and nerfs to weapons, but it was pretty much the same thing. You might have got a DLC pack, but that's it. Whereas now, you'll get, I don't know, Halloween pumpkins and stuff popping up in the game, and you'll get like Christmas decorating of the set dressing of the game, that sort of stuff. If you put that in, then that's when you start to step away from being traditional multiplayer to live service content. Obviously, it's massively watered down from what some people may class the definition, but that for me is that. Anyway, okay, we'll put the pin in the live service element then, just because we will all agree that the phrase live service can be read. It is very subjective, is the word to use. It's very subjective. So taking the live service element away, or keeping it in mind but without worrying about the definition, what is everyone's opinions on Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Back for Blood, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Obviously, that brings you NetherRealm, which is Mortal Kombat, Monolith, Shadow of War, Warner Brothers Games, Boston, which is mobile content, and Playdemic, which is Lego mobile content. I'm reading all from Maro NL's tweets that I did have on screen a second ago. With all of that considered, live service or not, feel free to keep live service in mind, but don't necessarily need it in the answer. Are you still excited for what's to come from Warner Brothers? What are your thoughts, Pip?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Kill the Justice League. It looks like a great game. Arkham Knights, that looks like a great game as well. So it's definitely in a universe that I absolutely adore. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it, regardless of if it's just going to be a single player game or it's going to be a live service multiplayer game that's going to have stuff tagged onto it for the next 10 years. I don't care. As long as the game's good, I'm going to play it. It doesn't matter what the tagline is, what the game is at its absolute core. The marketing terms or whatever is being construed, I don't care. As long as it's a good game, I'll still play it regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I think factoring in live service or not, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, I might and might not play that. And the reason I say that is I've played Lego Star Wars games and loved them, but I've also played a lot of Lego Star Wars game, and there is a little bit of repetition. Whereas playing something that's a very similar game like Astro Bot is a different experience. I enjoyed playing that, but Lego Star Wars games after a while becomes the same kind of thing. Same but different. Back for Blood, open to the idea of Gotham Knights, open to the idea of Hogwarts Legacy, definitely open to the idea of Suicide Squad, open to the idea of... So yeah, doesn't change anything for me. One thing that, off of that though, I want to jump back to, where's Magic Man's comment? Magic Man had a good one. So forgetting the details of what does live service mean or whatever, Magic Man said, it's just gone off my screen again. How many months ago were Warner Brothers thinking about selling their games division? And now they say they're focusing on live service content for at least 5, major titles coming over the next 2 years. That's a big change. That's a very big change. So my question then off the back of that is the reason we have this debate about live service is because we've been stung. And as we mentioned before, live service goes across the full broad range of games, but it gets tacked on to the games that have been a bit naff. Probably because it's such a big function that it gets tacked onto any game that is bad, really. But, playing devil's advocate, more fuel to the fire for live service stuff going forward. I think potentially. I don't think it's a live service question, as we've established already. I think it's a design and content question tied into live service and poor utilization of live service functions by developers. Possibly. I will wait and see. I will say Hogwarts Legacy has been in development for a shitload of time. I imagine Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad probably the same, and Lego Star Wars is going to be solid in itself. Back 4 Blood, across the board, saw positive comments about it being a really fun game. So maybe not. Anyway, let's put a pin in that. Mm-hmm. We can all stop fighting. Put your live service pitchforks down. It's okay. And now pick up your scalper pitchforks, because we're going to talk about consoles and hardware. We know we like to stick the pitchforks in when it comes to that. So unsurprisingly, after yesterday's conversations around PS5s, this next headline, written by Andrew Robinson at BGC, will not be a surprise, as UK PS5 game sales surge 324%, suggesting some consumers beat the scalpers. New console stock causes game boost. So PS5 physical game sales increased 324% in the UK last week, driven by new next-gen console stock finally arriving at British retailers. The PS5 hardware had a positive impact on sales of the console's exclusive games roster, with Spider-Man Miles Morales sales up 161%, jumping from number 12 to number 4 in the UK chart, and Demon sales sold increasing by 291%. There were also sales jumps for Call of Duty Black Ops War, up 56%, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, up 7%, but with the PS5 version up 174%. I've also had it confirmed that the PS5 version would have been up about 500%, but everyone's worried that Bibby's going to get stuck on it and give up on it, so that, is just the way it is.
Yeah.
According to GfK data published by Games Industry Biz, all of that was, by the way. The increased interest in PS5 was also reflected in physical sales of the week's big release, Hitman 3, which saw 49% of its sales on Sony's next-gen console. Hitman 3 was the top seller for the week and ended January 23rd with physical launch sales up 17% over its predecessor. The boost in PS5 software sales suggests that at least some of last week's console stock managed to make its way into the hands of regular consumers, despite claims from scalper groups they'd managed to secure thousands of PS5s to resell. Sony was already facing challenges satisfying demand for the PS5, but shortages have been exacerbated by scalpers reselling large quantities of the console at significant markups, keeping it out of the hands of consumers and in turn damaging software sales. Do you know what? That is something that I'd not even thought of before. That's a huge angle. Okay, we'll come back to that. Last week, one firm behind bot software used to beat virtual retail queues claimed its users had secured over 2,000 orders to resell for profit. Another UK-based scalper group made similar claims on its social media account. So let's kill that there. We get the idea. PS5 sales increased massively because there was stock to buy. What are the chances of that? That's amazing. Bib, does that surprise you that consoles that were available to be bought meant that there was more bought?
Absolutely not. But I mean, the main point of this is, I think over the last 2 weeks we've seen the numbers are doing it. The numbers are taking this conversation. I don't even have to say anything. The numbers are doing it for us, thankfully. But I mean, I've seen less and less consoles being sold on the likes of Facebook Marketplace. And around me and like Gumtree and Spock and stuff like that, I've not seen that many being sold on there. It used to be rife like a month ago. You couldn't every time you scrolled up your news feed up Facebook Marketplace or something, there was always someone there trying to sell one, but it seems to have fallen by the wayside, which is obviously a good thing. That Carnage Success thing, I know there was bragging that they've managed to bag thousands of different consoles. Do you think then that from maybe their perspective that it was a bit of a marketing ploy to try and get more people to sign up to that service?
What, from that Carnage one?
Yeah,
I reckon so. I don't know if Mr. T is still in the chat. It was here 5 messages ago, so it might still be. That was one thing that Asim threw in playing devil's advocate himself last week when we spoke about 2,000 consoles from Game. Only if someone said... actually, I'll come back to that. We were talking about Game last week having 2,000 consoles purchased by that Carnage bot thing. They were bragging, showing it off. And like Asim said, he made the point of, how do we know that's the case? Game refuted that was the case to an extent, but without stats and actual numbers, which is probably going to give someone away or give too much away, we don't really know. So it could be true, or it could be Carnage going, actually, look at all the consoles we're selling without anyone getting in the way, and it's also easy to do. And by the way, you can sign up, and it's going to cost you money to do that, to get all of the wonderful things. Yeah, is it just a sales pitch? Maybe.
No, I've just gone to Facebook Marketplace and someone's selling a PlayStation 5 in Manchester for £480.
Yeah, 30 quid markup.
The disc one as well.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'd seen similar things. Prices have dropped down to almost market level, and that's possibly because of supply and demand. Maybe everyone that's willing to be scalped has paid. So scalpers now are thinking, okay, well, we've only got other people that are happy to wait, so okay, we can't milk people. Maybe there's more available in the market now, so the supply is larger as well as the demand is lower. So yeah, that could be dropping the prices. The thing that I didn't consider until reading it in this article is that the knock-on effects. I've always thought, well, Game don't give a shit. If games sell all their 2,000 consoles, they'll go, oh, it's a shame that they all went to scalpers. Meanwhile, sit there in their big wodge of cash like Scrooge McDuck, but paper money because, metal money hurts and stuff. Not even that, they'll just sit back on a credit card because contactless these days because nobody wants to walk around with notes anymore. Anyway, games sit back in a wad of cash, go, oh, it's a shame. We will try to help you out in future by doing it exactly the same again. And Amazon, same thing. And Currys, same thing. Although Currys have had some success with operating in different ways. Businesses like Box, which are much, much tiny, box.co.uk I think it is, offering ballots to make sure that their audience and their consumers get the console. They realise we're a small retailer. We aren't just going to command headline space, so we need to get repeat purchases from loyal customers. The way we can do that is to look after our customers. Okay, fine, fair enough. Game and Co. don't give a shit. They're going to sell it, so they're not really going to change. And I was thinking, okay, well, will Sony really put the pressure on? Will Sony come in and say, look, Game, you want 10,000 consoles from us, we're going to give you 3. And the Game are like, yeah, well, we need 10,000 to keep the business going, to keep the profit coming in. And why would Sony then put pressure on them to change their practices? And this could be it. I've not even thought of it, because Sony need to say, it's kind of, Sony holds some cards, but Game holds some cards, and Amazon and Currys. Sony hold the cards in terms of it's their stock. Game and Currys are there to help Sony sell it. So they both hold a little bit, but Sony don't want to put too much pressure on Game. However, by Game just flogging consoles to scalpers, which is stopping it coming into the hands of consumers, or at least making it more expensive, meaning consumers aren't then able to buy Spider-Man Miles Morales and Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, all these games that are out already, didn't even consider that that's affecting the bottom line of Sony. So there potentially is something in there that could push that sort of change through going forward, which is actually, in the long term, probably not anything that's going to be helpful for now, but in the long term could be useful for hardware purchases. The software sales are, in a lot of cases, much, much more significant than the profits that you will get from hardware. So, big point. I'd completely missed that consideration. Jumping slightly ahead, Just to give you an up-to-date situation on how the stock situation has been and how the scalping situation has been. 10:36 just this morning, so over an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, Robert Anderson at IGN says PS5 scalpers used a loophole to buy stock before it was live in the UK. So last night, Argos, there was a lot of conversations in areas of the industry where people have been looking at trying to source stock for PS5. So there's a lot of accounts that do share updates, give you ideas of when stock is going live, and Argos has been one that's been in conversation for the last few days with the talk that in the early hours of today it would potentially go live. The thought would be about 3 a.m. this morning. Anyway, that's the context. Back into it. UK retailer Argos has been targeted by PS5 scalping groups, possibly contributing to lower than expected availability during a recent stock update. In the early hours of January 26, UK gamers were delighted to see the PS5 back in stock at Argos, but just as we've seen time and time again, the stock lasted for a much shorter time than expected amid widespread issues. Not only was the site buggy alongside the app, but there was also supposedly even less stock than expected on the already limited supply of consoles. Multiple sources who wish to remain anonymous have confirmed to IGN that this is in part because individuals were able to order PS5 consoles from Argos on January 25th, a full day before the aforementioned official stock drop. This was down to a loophole discovered by scalping group, of course it was, Express Notified, a paid-for Discord server that shared links allowing users to buy the PS5 before the general public even knew about the stock. Express Notify has been publicly taking credit, with many of its users showing off their orders for multiple consoles. Argos supposedly shut these rogue links down quickly, but not without several consoles being sold and even collected from Argos outlets beforehand. There hasn't been any confirmation on how many PS5s were claimed before the loophole was closed, but this is just another example in the growing list of frustrations that customers are facing when trying to purchase the next-gen system. To compound the issues, those who were attempting to buy legitimately via Argos in the early hours of the morning weren't exactly given a head start. At first, stock appeared to be available on the Argos app, which repeatedly dropped for maintenance, but not on Argos's browser-based website. However, even success with the app was seemingly entirely dependent on your area and whether it wanted to play ball in general. Some users reported success, others said the money came out of their account with the confirmation email, while many more were left without a console once again. We've contacted Argos for comment on the issue. And this is the whole thing for me. The scalping groups are arseholes. They are arseholes. They are after profit. They are getting profit. They are bragging about how easy it is to get profit. I mean, how can you trust businesses with your funds if there are back doors and loopholes?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, genuinely, beyond people just trying to purchase consoles and being pissed off that not getting them, genuinely, the whole thing needs to be investigated. And this is coming from someone that has purchased a PS5 disc edition at launch, obviously the first time they went live, and I managed to get a digital edition ordered yesterday, purely to sell on Facebook at a 200% profit increase. No, I'm keeping it for my setup here. But I'm a legitimate customer looking to buy it for myself. Some people would be pissed that I've purchased two, but it's my needs. But some people are purchasing multiple ones and having no barriers for entry, whilst the legitimate people that want them just to buy them for themselves are struggling. And Argos don't care. Game don't care. Amazon don't care, as long as they're selling the stock. Smiths absolutely don't care. If you read what some of the scalping groups have been saying, they just have zero software solutions on their website to stop scalping groups getting through, which is just pence. Anyway, let me jump back through the chat. I really want a Series X, but refuse to entertain a scalper, says Plum Rico. And do you know what, GG? I appreciate that, because if you do, you're just adding to the problem. I understand it's on an individual by individual basis. If it's within your financial situation, fill your boots. I still wouldn't condone it, because you're just adding to the issue for other people. But yeah, choice is yours. But you didn't, so GG. They were playing it up, wanting people to sign up, says Mr. T. Referencing the outward messages from scalping groups. I don't deny that as well. Enix said I had around 12 stock alerts yesterday, Plum Rico, so there is loads of restock for Xbox. Xbox definitely are on the ball. They are ahead of the curve in terms of getting hardware out there. maybe that is compounded by the fact that there isn't as much demand as for the hardware as there is for PS5 hardware as well. Which then kind of comes full circle, because people think there's Xboxes and there's shitloads of Xboxes and nobody wants the Xboxes. The scalpers aren't buying the Xboxes, but there's actually still a limited supply. They're just not being scalped, so it kind of works like the opposite of a vicious circle, a lovely circle. There you go. Microsoft Store did 7 restocks yesterday throughout the day. Sign up to Hot Drop, gives you a notification, or another one I use is Stocking Farm. I've been using it since Christmas. I've had 5 Xbox Series X's ordered for friends. He's a scalper. Yes, I can vouch for Stocking Farmer, which is what I used to get alerted yesterday for Amazon going live, and then managed to bag myself a digital edition, potentially, if it turns up. Salty Dog says, I've given up on PlayStation, got myself an Xbox S. Clever from Xbox to offer an intro console to draw in mugs like me to Xbox. Well, enjoy. I mean, I probably will get a Series S as well, to be fair. I have a 1S downstairs, so I'll probably upgrade that to a Series S at some point in the future. Mad says, gah, these scalper groups, we all feel the pain. Enix says, Argus's fault, they had the whole system prepped to sell for over a week. I mean, one of the accounts that I follow is something like PS5 Stock Alerts UK or something like that, and they've been talking about this conversation that they've been having with a game manager. So someone at Game has been announcing this to this page. This is not a scalper group, by the way, but someone at Game has been giving inside information to this page, telling when things are going live. There's been contrasting information. It's all take it with a pinch. But if someone's talking to a legitimate page, someone's going to be talking to a scalping page too, surely. So if people are talking, people are talking. So that's how scalpers know what to do and where to go and what they're looking at. Plus, they have their own technical knowledge. The people that are building these bots will have coding knowledge, will know how PHP, HTML, and all the other bits on the websites work, so that they can find out, oh, well, this is the page that you need to get to. You usually can't get to this page because you have to go through 3 layers of navigation. But now I've figured out the URL. Bosh, there we go. We can jump all the queues. Job's a good one.
Loose lip sync ships.
Exactly. Enix says, what's Bibby eating? Pink wafers. Pink wafars.
Yeah, pink wafers.
Yeah.
I'm not having breakfast yet, so this is kind of the go-between.
Quick question. It's a pink wafer for me, and it's clearly a pink wafer for Bibby because I just said it. Does anyone say pink wafer? Because I know people do actually call wafers waffers, and that grinds my gears.
They can get in the bin.
It's not a wafer. That would have 2 F's in it. It'd be like, wafer for error. Okay, caps is wrong, but you get it. You get it in the chat. So there you go. PS5 sales are up massively. The early indication is that some people have been getting them. I don't know how they get that. They're getting that because games are being sold, but if consoles are being scalped and then bought from scalpers, people will be buying games anyway as well, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Wafer, says Gary Clark. You are right, my friend. You are right. Anyway, something else that's been pretty popular over the last week or so, and would have been even more popular if me and Bibby could have played it on our Insert Coin stream, is the fact that Star Wars Battlefront 2 topped 19 million free downloads on Epic Games Store. This is written by Tom Ivan at VGC. In case you missed it, last week the title was free to download from January the 14th to January the 21st. If you didn't get it, then my God, you missed out because it's good. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was downloaded for free more than 19 million times during a recent Epic Games Store promotion, according to publisher EA. Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition, which normally costs 35 quid, was free to download from Epic's marketplace from January 14th to the 21st. And the Celebration Edition features the complete collection of customization content available through in-game purchases, including the most recent items inspired by the rise of Skywalker. While Battlefront 2 received its final major content update in April 2020, EA has had to deal with a massive influx of new players this month, which resulted in temporary issues as it worked to increase server capacity. The Epic Games Store free promotion has seen it give away titles on a weekly basis since the storefront launched in December 2018. It also gave away 15 free games over the Christmas period. Okay, we'll stop there. You get the idea. So Epic Games Store's free Battlefront 2 promotion worked out very well, as 19 million people downloaded it, including me and Bib.
Yeah, the power of free games, eh?
Good game as well. Very good game.
That's it. That's the biggest part about it. It might be free, but it's decent, so people are going to continue to play it.
If you were going to get Star Wars Battlefront 2 and you got turned off because of the whole loot box fiasco and it's been shit ever since in your mind, I will offer my opinion, having played it finally, that it's decent. I didn't play it for the longest amount of time, so maybe after a while some cracks may have started to show, but yeah, it's good. I'll take it. I'll take back some of the hatred I got from buying the Deluxe Stormtrooper edition and then putting it in a drawer, only hating it each day since, but there you go. Okay, one final nice bit of news. If you're on Twitch, which all of you are watching us live here right now, there's a good chance that you may have Prime Gaming. Well, first of all, feel free to drop your Prime on this channel if you want. You know, you get a sub for free and you get in the loot drop and stuff. But as well as that, Prime Gaming obviously gives you some extras, including, as written by Don Peppiatt at VG247, a free FIFA 21 Ultimate Team Pack, which is now available with Prime Gaming. So the first of 9 free upcoming FIFA 21 drops is available from Prime Gaming right now. FIFA 21 has teamed up with Prime Gaming to offer players 9 collaborative drops over the coming days, and the first offer is going live today. This article was published yesterday, by the way. The first day's offer is now live over on the Prime Gaming website, and the folks over at Prime Gaming promised her that more offers will be available shortly, though it's not yet clear exactly how often they'll refresh. In today's drop, you can find one N81 plus player pick item, 4 rare gold player items, a team of the year player items are available in packs for a limited time. The company says it'll share more information on additional offers soon. If FIFA 21 isn't your bag, don't worry. Amazon kicked off a whole year of content for Riot Games titles in January too. That's fine. If you're more... Actually, I'll read the next bit. If you're more into shooters, subscribers can also claim a limited edition of Queen of Hearts skin for Wraith in Apex Legends, as well as goods for the likes of Star Wars Squadrons, RuneScape, and Valorant. Yeah, we'll leave it there. So if you play FIFA, get your Ultimate Team packs. Have you got yours yet, babe?
I've literally just done it now.
That's why he was quiet. Everyone's thinking he's eating pink wafers, but no, he's
pink wafers. Rest our packets for tonight.
It's not going to last all tonight. You've got to sit there with it in front of you.
No, it's not. I know. I'm in this position all day. They're not waiting until.
Enix says, I've already given you enough subs, Kappa. No, I can't see any evidence of that. Change the thing to bit donations. There we go. It's gone. Ta-da! GG. By the way, Mike, a.k.a. My Aunt Kel, 5,000 bits on the channel. That is ridiculous, Mike. But yeah, appreciated still nonetheless. As mentioned, you do not have to give bits. You do not have to subscribe. You do not have to donate. But we appreciate it all, as it does help keep Bibby's extremely expensive lights on. and the Lambos. He needs the Lambos.
It does.
He needs the Lambos. Yeah, honestly, you don't have to drop gifts and subs and stuff. It does help. We appreciate it. We don't do this full time, so we appreciate anyone that does support. Just being here though is more than enough. So feel free to join us each and every single week at 10 a.m. ish for the scoop, which for today is done. We are going to wrap things up now. We won't be back with an additional stream today because it's Tuesday. We do work stuff. So yeah, that's the last stream of the day. We will drop a raid on someone, so if anyone has any suggestions, please feel free to let us know. But whilst I look into that, is there anything that you'd like to add, Bib?
Yes, of course. If you do have any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, there's 2 ways to get in contact with us. First of all, find us on social medias at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Second of all, get into our Discord. There's an area in there that says The Scoop. All you need to do is drop in the URL, add your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Well, that, Bib, will be at 10 a.m. Ish. As Gary gets in there first with the ishes in the chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, we are going to disappear. We will be off. West! Hey, he's been lurking again. Thank you for being here, West, you beautiful guy. Bits for wafers. Exactly. Oh, by the way, I didn't shout it out at the time, but Pyro, I don't know if you're still lurking, but thank you very much for the host a whopping 44 minutes ago. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, dude. Anyone else that drops hosts as well, also appreciate it. We are going to disappear. We will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.-ish with the next episode of the Scoop, as we've said. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day. And what are they doing, Bib?
Stay frosty.
Noise.